Hello there and welcome back to our maximum weight challenge. Currently, we're sat in second place, and I'm gonna be honest here, it's not looking too good. Alonso's just too strong. But it's still early season, we still have a lot to play for here, so I'm not too worried. The only real concern is going to be when do we switch over to research if we don't believe we're going to beat it this season. And for the time being, I don't think we are going to be messing around with that in any way, shape, or form. We did get a new chassis last time, and honestly, I think I'm just going to start another chassis design right away. We are already pretty high up there, honestly, on the expertise levels, I'm not going to lie. But there's nothing else that we can really do here other than just keep on working, try and make these better. The chassis would be C7, we're going to probably get to C9 before we make another one. So, yeah, we're going to just keep on working the best way that we can. There's not really anything else to say there. And apparently someone is behind us right now in cornering. I would assume that's because they have parts missing from their car. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me. But we're going to Canada, a track that should, in theory, be a little bit kinder to our top speed ways. So let's see how we do there. So far, it's been quite enjoyable. And again, I apologize for the lack of videos in January in particular. Been busy, but hopefully it'll be a little bit better going forward. So I am going to take the day off tomorrow to just reset the schedule and get the upload time back to, well, a better time. Let's just put it like that. But next week we should have, hopefully, 5-ish videos. So maybe a couple days without. Maybe not. But that is kind of what it's lining up to be, which should be good. But yeah, let's jump into Canada. Hopefully it shall go well. Going into Canada here, we're actually going to have a couple of upgrades coming onto one of our vehicles. And we are going to put those upgrades on Leclerc's car. He has been doing the best this season. He's 50 points ahead of his teammate. Although Hamilton did beat him last time out, we do need to prioritize a little bit. And Leclerc is the one closest to getting any sort of, or bringing any sort of fight to Alonso at the moment. So we're going to give him the new chassis here. It's not going to have any effect really on our, compared to our rivals, but it's going to improve our car a little bit. So it's still going to be a nice upgrade. And we're also going to get the S5 suspension here on Saturday before quali, which we are also going to put on Leclerc's car. This too isn't really going to change anything because, let's face it, we're already first in top speed, we're already first in tire preservation, and well, the cornering gain here is very, very low, so that's not really going to impact anything. However, this tire preservation is going to be huge. It's going to bring us up to 86-87% tire preservation, and that is going to be really, really helpful in the long run here. We are still developing the car. We do also have the rear wing here that I should have manufactured ages ago by the looks of it. Did I? No, it's because I made a mistake here. I'm probably going to do this every episode, but yeah, I made a mistake with this one. We do need to make a new one that does not have that mistake, but I think I made this just to show how much of a gain you can have just by flipping the weight around. And you can imagine for a heavier piece like chassis and side pods that these numbers are going to be even more insane. But yeah, let's see here. I think next time we finish a design project, we're already making that rear wing, so we're good. Nothing to worry about. Let's head to Canada, and let's see if the car can score us a win, perhaps. Race targets, 5th or higher, 11th on the grid. Race target, 4th or higher, 12th on the grid. This is going to be an interesting one. After wet qualifying Canada, we find ourselves front row. And as you can see here from the gaps to us to Verstappen and Alonso being over half a second, we basically just, let's put it this way. Everyone went out first lap. The weather got better. We went out a second try. They didn't. We would have been a half a second behind them if that hadn't happened. But we're getting a 1-2 start here in Canada. And that's actually going to be really, really helpful for us. That means that we should be able to slow them down a little bit, mayhaps. Maybe take advantage. But I'm a little bit unsure here what we want to do in terms of strategy. And that's going to be probably the harder thing to figure out. We could do a soft to hard. I don't think we are going to do that, though, but we could. So let's see here what we can pull together in terms of a fast strategy, if you will. And honestly, just running that lights off to the absolute limit does seem to be a good option. This is still going to be faster, however. And that's a little bit interesting. So we might try something that I wouldn't usually do. We actually have high enough tire preservation in that we could run a medium and a hard full attack. And that could work. I'm not going to lie. That could work. What if we do something even cheekier? It's even quicker. So a soft full attack into a hard attack into another soft attack is, in theory, 4 seconds quicker than this one. I don't think we can slot a medium in here. I don't think that's going to be quicker. It isn't, as you can see. It's estimated to be the same amount of time, but we have less tire available to us. So I would like to do this. It's probably going to be the fastest thing we can do around here. And honestly, with how weird our... not really how weird. With how high our tire preservation is going to be this season, we're going to have a lot of alternate strategies that I don't really think I would have used before. And that's the thing. Tire preservation is definitely the main thing that is going to decide what strategies you have available to use. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be the main factor, main deciding factor in strategic choices. Now, Hamilton here doesn't actually have the new suspension, which add another 3.5% of tire preservation. But even so, he should still be fine doing this. He's about a second slower, is the estimate. But I think this will be an okay strategy to use. We'll have to see what we do here with soft tire. We might burn it a little bit extra, go a couple of laps longer. But I do believe this is the best strategy that we have available to us. And honestly, we are going to underfuel, although I don't think it's really necessary if you're going to go with an aggressive strategy anyways to underfuel. But we're going to try and min-max it because we need a good result here to close down to Alonso and, you know, catch up to Red Bull. We're also starting with very high levels of confidence, meaning that as long as we have a good first lap here, both of our drivers should be relatively maxed with the exception of accuracy for Hamilton. And, well, Leclerc is already almost maxed in terms of the extra stats, so we'll take that for sure. Everything does seem to be properly set up. Let's jump into the Canadian race here. And let's see how this first lap develops.
The drivers are ready and raring to go. It's the Canadian Grand Prix.
Now, I see a lot of red. Both the Red Bulls have soft tires. We're also going to go high overtake aggression, even if we want to. Just feel like that is the better option here. And we have retained, which is the most important part. And 8th, 9th, 10th, further down the pack here are using a tire other than the soft. But I wouldn't be too worried about that just yet. So yeah, goal here now. It's going to be very, very simple. Create as much of a gap to, say, Russell and the cars further behind in order to make our pit stops easier. So we're probably going to burn quite a lot of energy here. We are going to probably allow the Red Bulls to overtake us at one point in order to kind of sit behind and recharge. But right now, it looks like we might create a bit of a gap. They are going to gain on us in corners. We're going to gain back on the straights. But right now, we are flying around here compared to the Red Bulls. Although they are gaining us with the help of the RS. It's kind of looking very, very good. We're going to go ahead and put it on neutral for a little bit. And I do believe that is going to allow, the Red Bulls to catch up immediately. It's just how things are. And we'll have to see if we can keep them at bay here. We should have enough top speed here that as long as Leclerc or Hamilton is getting pulled with the RS, the Red Bulls aren't actually going to be able to get the overtake done. But we might need to manage the Hamilton here in order to keep that gap at a acceptable level. So far, though, it's looking good. Let's see how it looks once we get a little bit further into this. We spent a few laps here recharging, basically having the second place recharge the battery while the first place kind of pushes. Leclerc got pushed off the track there. And as a result now, we have now recharged both of our batteries while retaining position. Red Bull generally just doesn't have a response there because we're so quick on the straights. And that is kind of what I like to see. Now, however, I think what we are going to do here with Leclerc now taking the lead here and getting a bit of a gap is that we're actually going to have Leclerc deploy. And hopefully we'll be able to create enough of a gap now after this DRS zone, with Leclerc deploying, Hamilton getting DRS, that we'll be able to get away from the Red Bulls. That would be the big one. Just push as much as we can here on the straight, get away from the Red Bull. Don't allow them to get back in it. Although, to be fair, I probably should turn down the aggression there, because we definitely allowed them to get back in it with how aggressive that overtake was. But Verstappen is falling out of range. Alonso is somewhat falling out of range, but I don't think we got it completely. He doesn't have actually DRS there, so not too bad. We have used quite a lot of the battery. I don't think it actually worked out as I hoped it would. But that's going to be the idea. We're going to try that again. Maybe try it a little bit later before we do our first pit stop. But as we can see, also degradation is less than expected on the soft tire. So with that in mind, we might very well end up here switching to a medium tire. We'll have to see how the tire is looking like 7 laps or so, as we have a brief yellow flag. But we're going to go back to recharging. We're going to go back to a little bit of management. And hopefully we can get away on our second attempt. The first car has just entered the pits here with Piastri, and he's not had a good time. Bit of a slow stomp. In terms of our tyres, though, we still hold an advantage over both Alonso and Verstappen. A pretty significant advantage, even though we've all been kind of pushing the entire stint. And the main thing that is stopping me from pitting, the reason why we might go a little bit longer here, is going to be time consideration. 21 seconds is the pit stop. And right now, if we pit, we're going to come down into a whole heap of traffic. Let's just put it like that. There's no point in pitting, because it's just going to put us directly into traffic. We have a tire advantage on the cars around us, so we can actually allow them to pit before we do. It could be a little bit... Ooh, that's bad for the Red Bull. I should manage to get that done. It could be bad for us for a couple of reasons, because we could get undercut, of course. But I think the time loss in traffic is going to be higher than any undercut, so we'll play it a little bit safer. I don't think Verstappen getting an overtake done here is going to be a huge problem. I think we'll be getting that back pretty quickly. But at the same time, it's not very, it's not good. But there we go. One car gets the overtake done. Is Leclerc going to get his overtake done too? Looks like that's going to be a, an easy job there. That's also very nice. We pushed him off track. Do we want to... I think we do. We're going to deploy both cars in now. He's going to lose a little bit of time because we pushed him aggressively, I might add, off the track. And hopefully, he'll not have DRS in this next section. And it looks like he doesn't. 1.7 seconds now behind, 1.1. DRS just being very, very powerful in gaining time. And unfortunately, Hamilton actually ended up far enough behind here that the gap to Alonso was just about big enough by looks of it. Verstappen and Russell jumping into the pits now. Second and third cars pitting. I still think we don't have any other choice here but to just stay out. Gonna put the boys here on medium so they don't mess too much with each other. But we are getting very, very closer to the pit stop. Verstappen did come out here behind Albon for share. I think we picked one of our cars this lap. But as I mentioned here, because the degradation is so much lower than anticipated on the soft tire, doing a medium here has definitely become viable. And not only viable, it's probably the better option. The problem is, should we pit now or should we wait a little bit? And I think the answer is we should pit now, because the soft is just going to be quick around here. Take a quick look here at the tire expectations. Softs are about 0.3 quicker, and it takes 30 laps for them to become equal to the mediums. So I kind of want to use the softs a little bit more here, because they would still be quicker than mediums ran the same amount of time. If anything, we want to be spend less time on the mediums than we do on the soft tire. Choice here is going to be a bit of a rough one, because we're basically giving up some track position, if you will, for a little bit more oomph in the tires later on. Basically, what this also is going to allow me to do if I go longer, is it's going to give me a really, really good expectation to how well the softs are going to hold up. Right now we've done 21 laps on them. We're about to have done 21 laps. They can probably hold off for 3 or 4 more laps more, meaning that what we could do with the strategy is change it up to something like this. We know that the tires last for about 25 laps. We can jump on them on 47, 46 here. It's going to be fine. It is going to be faster. The expectation here is that it follows the degradation. So the estimated race time is an estimate for that reason. And as you can see here, we definitely do not follow the expected degradation cycle at all. We are following the aggressive, somewhere between aggressive and full attack. We're actually very much closer to aggressive than we are to full attack, and you can kind of get the idea. We'd end up with this much tire by the end. We do, what would we do here? 25 laps on the medium if we pit it now? I think we do 2 more laps on these. We're going to end up losing track position to Russell, to Verstappen, to Alonso. But I don't think that's going to be a big deal if we have better tires towards the end. And I do believe we'll end up with that. The other issue here is also going to be that the mediums are going to degrade slower than anticipated. I'm probably overthinking this to an extreme degree. And some of you are probably sitting there, make a decision already. I think what we are going to do here is we're going to get 1 car in to just try and cover and slow down maybe the cars ahead. I think that would be the idea. So, Hamilton, I am very, very sorry. But we're going to pit you in on a medium tire this lap. And I think what we're going to see here is also the fact that the Red Bull might pit. It didn't, actually. Alonso's staying out. He's following Leclerc. Clean stop at least. We should come out just behind Russell and Verstappen. They're just flying down the main straight. We might actually come out ahead of them. There we have Russell, Verstappen. We've actually come out ahead. And that's worked out really, really good here for Hamilton. And I kind of think that I want to do the same with Leclerc. Let's deploy. Let's see if we can get out ahead. Because degradation on the medium should be less than anticipated too. And hopefully here we can take advantage of that. I'm going to put Hamilton on always defend for this lap. It is slower. Yes. But the goal is just to keep Leclerc in this and keep him ahead. And that should work out just fine. As he just now entered the pits. Alonso entered with him. We need a clean and fast stop. 2.6 seconds. Is that quick enough? It is. Leclerc is still ahead. Where is Hamilton, Russell, and Verstappen? They're coming down the main straight. Leclerc filters in slightly ahead. And Hamilton has been hit here. That's not good. Did the Red Bull lock up and hit the back? The Red Bull did in fact lock up. And I believe that is some minor damage to the front wing. Okay, so not too terrible. The main worry here would actually be the tire. Yeah, minor damage to the front wing. Hamilton squished in between Alonso and Verstappen here. This looks bad. I think we're just going to have to keep him out right now. We just pitted. The front wing damage doesn't seem super bad. Even though I can't really get an angle, it looks like it just shed off half the end plate. Leclerc got put in a good position. He actually came out pretty far ahead, even ahead of Ocon and Russell. Ocon actually done a pretty good job with his stop. It shouldn't be a safety car. But yeah, Hamilton getting absolutely screwed over here by the Red Bull boys. I don't think Verstappen even picked up any damage. He didn't. He pitted so much earlier than this that this is just regular wear and tear. So Verstappen dive bombed us. He got a penalty though, so at least we got that going for us. But yeah, that's not overly amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Hamilton here is going to have a bit of a job getting back into position. We're going to just recharge while we're behind the our assailant, if you will. And we'll just have to manage for a little while here. Try and get back into this with, well, with Hamilton. Let's see what we can do. We now have a safety car, just as Hamilton has cleared the pits. He's definitely not having a good time here, I'm not gonna lie. We're 6 seconds behind, we just can't reel in the gap. Definitely suffering quite a bit because I've run way more than I would have expected. There isn't really anything I can do about it. Theo Pocher here has had a bit of an incident. Okay, that's a pretty bad crash, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm wondering if, for Hamilton's sake, we want to actually pit here. Because we should be able to come out ahead of Gasly if we do pit. We should also be able to come out ahead of Norris because he's pitting. So we'd give it 3 positions. And, well, to be fair, if we want to fix that front wing, we'd give it far more than that. But I don't think we have much of a choice. Unfortunately, we don't have 2 soft tires, something like that. So we might just have to go with a full attack hard till the end for him if we do this. Let's see, Hamilton, what is available to you right now? If we go full attack hard, it's definitely going to last till the end, no problem. Degradation-wise, is also going to be perfectly fine. If we go for a medium, that too is going to be fine. But the harder is potentially going to be quicker, just because, again, the number of laps. So, as much as this is going to sting, I think we don't really have much of a choice. There's a lot of cars here with 1 tires. Alonso is also running his, I would believe, final medium set because he needs to go, sorry, soft set because he needs to go to a medium till the end. So we have advantage over Alonso. I'm a little bit undecided again what I should do here because what we can do with Leclerc, take a look at him, is so we can run the soft on standard even till the end from here. And if everyone else does pit, then we aren't really going to have much of a choice in what we do. I think the key here is just going to be to run a light soft, honestly. Build up advantage towards the end, try and stay within DRS range. Because I can see Ocon pitting, Alonso pitting, Verstappen pitting, and if they don't, we're going to end up with advantage. Because Leclerc can pit, and he's going to come out, as I mentioned, behind Piastri, behind Show at worst. Both of these guys had already gone past the pits by the time, well, pitting happened. Let's see what happens with the bottom 6, if you will. Gasly's in the pit, Tsunoda's going to pit. Yeah, I think everyone is just going to straight up going to pit here. So the key is going to be that we also do pit. And for Hamilton here, it's going to suck, but it is just how things are going to have to be. It's going to be a long pit stop. But we shouldn't really lose out too many positions. We're going to lose 3 by this. And honestly, I think that is the best that we can do. I don't think there's any advantage we can gain or lose by not doing this. And again, everyone else is going to be pitting too. So there's no need to keep Leclerc out. And a gap that we would gain is going to be immediately lost. So let's call Leclerc in. The only thing that's a negative here is that Verstappen didn't pit ahead of Alonso. And the fact that he now gets a clean, or basically a free, fix of his issue, so to speak. 2.4, 8.6. That's not terrible in terms of pit stop times here. We'll take that. Ocon has gone to a hard tire. Alonso on a medium. Russell on a hard tire. We're going to have a huge tire advantage here with Leclerc. And that's going to be the big one. We're going to have such a huge tire advantage that if we just manage this soft stint correctly, we will be ahead by the end by quite a margin, just in terms of tire pace. For Hamilton, it's going to be a bit of a harder job. Not going to lie, he's going to have a much rougher time. I'm going to try and have Leclerc run conservative, just to see if we can keep the temp there. That's going to be number 1. But number 2 is going to be again, just manage tires. Try and get as much of these tires as we can. Oh, that is a That's a launch and a half there from Ocon. I think Conserve might be losing a bit much time here. Probably also do need to deploy a little bit here to not lose him. Ocon has been a bit of a nemesis lately. We gave him a win in Monaco, and right now he's just flying. How is he flying that quickly? Man put in a rocket engine. Hamilton gets one overtake done, which is good. But yeah, at this rate, we're actually going to be giving Ocon another win, which, to be fair, I'm not against. But that's just insane how quick it is. And remember this, in terms of time considerations here for compounds, he should be 6/10 slower, purely due to his choice of tire. But he's definitely running full attack. It's the only thing that makes sense. Yeah, it should be. But maybe, just maybe, I've gambled a little bit too hard here with Leclerc. And it's not going to work out for us. We'll have to see, though. Used all of Hamilton's battery while being in awe of Ocon's performance. But yeah, for now, Hamilton, we're just going to harvest a little bit here, regain that battery, and then take it from there. And honestly here, it's going to be a bit of a tough one. Mayhaps. We'll have to try and stay with the Red Bulls at least. Looks like that can be a little bit of a challenge here. Might actually have to run attack here for a couple laps just to close back down to the Red Bulls. I didn't think the gap would open up this quickly, this hard, but I was wrong. However, if we catch up to Red Bulls once they stop running attack after, you know, the first 5 laps or so, we should be okay. And now Piastri's getting into the mix as well. Gonna lose us a little bit of time. Hamilton falling down to 9th. Yeah, this is not looking good. I think managing tires was the wrong choice here, I'm not gonna lie. And right now I'm definitely paying for that choice quite badly. This is a bit of a concern, but seeing Hamilton also being slow, we're definitely struggling. Definitely struggling. The AI is a lot quicker than us right now. As we are getting close to the end there, unfortunately it looks like we're going to get a 4th and 5th place here. We just haven't been able to take advantage of anything really, and the soft tires did not work out as well as I hoped. But the fact that they've been able to eke out this much of a gap this quickly is kind of insane really, and probably just a testament to just how powerful the DRS trains actually are here. The only thing that we're gonna have to see now is basically if Ocon can snatch first place and lessen some of the damage, as an Alpine got involved there for some weird reason. But yeah, Ocon here could get what I would believe to be back-to-back wins. It's a bit of a shame here for both Leclerc and Hamilton, honestly. That safety car probably messes up a little bit more than I would like to admit. But if you consider Hamilton's lap time, Hamilton's placement here versus Leclerc's, I guess Leclerc would have stayed with the Red Bulls if we went full attack, but yeah, it just didn't pan out here. The only thing that we can really hope for here is, as I mentioned, Ocon winning, which sounds weird. But looks like that is exactly what we are going to get here. Just barely ahead of Alonso and Verstappen. Leclerc takes 4th place here by looks of it. And yeah, 4th and 5th, not really great. Definitely should have gone full attack. Played it a little bit too careful, a little bit too safe, and that backfired horribly here. But also, as I mentioned, Hamilton had no chance to close down the gap as well. So I don't know. It was just weird just how quickly Ocon just flew ahead of us there. With that though, Alonso extended his lead by 6 points. Ocon is now 3rd in the championship in the weirdest plot twist of the century. And RB moves up to 3rd place here. So yeah, not a good result here in Canada. And honestly, I don't understand why they flew ahead so quickly. I do understand that we ran conserve, we ran light, but that was still quite insane. Time complete. side pods SP6. And honestly, we're just going to design another set right away. The next ATR period, I think we need to just start considering what we do next season. So I think we'll start doing a little bit of research on probably front and rear wing. And get ourselves prepped for a season that will hopefully go a little bit better. We're also still going to get some cooling in here. And honestly, what we could do is, as what I am doing, which is sacrifice that cooling a little bit on the side pods. But even then, it's not going to have a huge effect. I wish I could sacrifice more of it. But this is still going to be an upgrade. We're still going to, again, design a couple more. And we're probably going to stop at the 9th edition of chassis, side pod, and suspension. And then just fully pivot into research. Another thing that I probably also should mention is that Leclerc had a better car by a little bit of a margin there over Hamilton, so definitely going full aggressive would have been the better option. And I am struggling with that mental switch, if you will, that we have so high tire preservation that running attack is actually back in the menu again. But yeah, let's just take a quick look here. Do we have all the car pieces? We are manufacturing chassis. We are manufacturing suspensions, I do believe. Let's just get one front wing going, and then we'll make the rear wings once that design project is done in 3 days. And then we'll get prepared for Barcelona. As we're about to enter Barcelona here, we finally have a second chassis. And we also have a second suspension here that we are, of course, going to be putting on Hamilton's car. And that way we'll have, well, something new for both of them. We also do have the new rear wings here, who is gonna boost us a little bit on DRS effectiveness. We're gaining 1.75%. Not really a huge boost, but again, any little thing helps at this point. I'm not gonna lie. So we'll put that on the car right away. We're now 4th in DRS. We are 1st in top speed, 1st in tire preservation, and last in everything else. So it's still gonna be a struggle, but hopefully it's not gonna be as much of a struggle here as we enter Spain, which is going to absolutely devour our tires. So this could be an interesting one. In terms of our car measuring up against the Red Bull, we still have an insane tire preservation advantage. They have way better cooling, way better everything but the top speed. So it's still going to be quite a struggle fest. I'm not going to lie. It's gonna be painful. But we'll do the best that we can. I've also kept a design slot open so that once we get the next CFD period, we can immediately invest that into a front wing. And honestly here, as I mentioned here, we're going to do all 3 of these to the 9th version. And then we are going to go and pivot completely into research. We might even just skip, or rather stop right where we are and go full on into research. The next couple of races are going to decide that, I think. Because right now, it's not a good time. We're expected to finish dead last based on the car. Let's see if we can beat that expectation at least. The Spain qualifying did definitely not go our way here, with us being placed pretty far down, 6th and 7th. Ocon keeps his good form going, however. Puts himself in 3rd position, just a couple of tenths off pole. And it's looking more and more likely here that we're going to have to switch to a research focus and do our best next season. That does seem to be more and more likely with each passing second. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We are going to be playing conserve here. Honestly, it is Spain. There is just no other way around it. We need to take care of our tires. If we don't, they're going to just implode. So that is going to be the name of the game. The AI wants us to do this, which is a aggressive standard stint. I think we'll chuck this in the no thank you box. And we'll put something together ourselves that will hopefully be slightly faster. And it is already 8 seconds faster. And I just don't think we have any better options here. I'm not going to lie. There doesn't seem to be a lot of good options when it comes to Spain. It's just how things are. It is attractive east tires, and 2 lights into an aggressive medium is probably the best that we can hope for. We could also go for just straight up a one-stop here. I think we actually have what is necessary to make this happen. We could do a one-stop around here, just barely, and it's going to be quite slow, so maybe not do that. Even if we run light, it's not going to really mess with the time much. So it is viable. If you really, really wanted to, we could run that hard stint as long as possible, gamble for safety car. But I don't think that's going to be a good option here. What we could do also is, instead of the medium, try, say, add a full attack hard stint in there. See how that squares up compared to the other strategy. They're going to actually be very, very similar. But as you can see, the hard is going to be actually worse. So we're just going to do the very, very basic here. The basic strategy, if you will. Because I don't think we have any other options. It didn't really work out in Canada. But let's be honest here. Even if I put together a strategy that is 100% aggression. Let's say that we start on a hard tire, we go aggressive on that. We go onto a medium, we go aggressive on that. Then we do a standard soft stint to the end. I don't think that's really going to change things too much here. And yeah, as you can see, it's not going to be any quicker. But yeah, this is what we're going to do. We'll have to try and manage best as we can. Underfueled, as we usually do. Hamilton now has a new pass. We have the rear wing in both cars. Let's see if we can minimize damage here, because that's going to be the name of the game.
One of the oldest races on the Formula One calendar. This is the Spanish Grand Prix.
A hard tire on the second row and a medium tire as well. That's going to make things a little bit spicier. A bit of a poor start from Leclerc, getting held up there by Norris. But all in all, not the worst start we've ever seen. We do lose a position.
Okay.
Just how things are, but it does look like we're getting that back immediately. I believe Russell is on the hard tire, so is Magnussen. Bottas, Norris, Ocon, Verstappen, and Alonso, the only one ahead of us that are doing a similar thing. So this could be very, very interesting once we come to the actual pit stops. We need to clear up ahead as quickly as possible. Hamilton's already done 2 overtakes. Let's see if we can do another. We need to clear these hard runners as quickly as possible, and then just try and stay within DRS of the faster Red Bulls, and also the faster Ocon ahead. That's going to be the key here, I think, to getting a good result. As both Lawson and Sainz, as well as Gasly, we've had a 4-man crash by the looks of it. Albon, Lawson, both of these guys should straight up be out. And immediately we get a safety car. What happened here? I assume Sainz is going to lock up. Yep. The fact that he survived is actually insane. So I don't think he was the only one that locked up there. I think another car locked up. That's the only thing that makes sense. Sainz locked up and had his own incident, and I think Gasly had a different one. No, Gasly got hit in the back. But I don't think it was Sainz that hit him. But yeah, that is a spicy start. We already have basically 4 cars out. Albon did actually cause that. Must have been a weird squish then, because it did not look like it from the replay. We might need to do a VAR review there to check that one out. But yeah, not the best start here. Pretty spicy, if you will. Hamilton up 2 places. Leclerc is back to where he started. We are gonna just keep on managing for a while here and see what we can do. Safety car is now ending, so let's see what we can do. We already have advantage tire-wise over Alonso and Verstappen. But I believe Alonso is just going to break away again, like he did pre-safety car. He had 3 seconds on Ocon, so we need here to get a good restart. And it looks like we did do just that. Even though we are getting attacked by Bottas here. And he's actually going to get that move done. That's quite disappointing. That he gets that done with hard tires. We are running light, however, so that's probably why. But a little bit disappointing. We have another yellow flag here. Did Sainz get involved in another incident? I think Danny Rick might have spun by looks of it. Danny Rick with a lockup, so nothing too serious there. But yeah, at this point, we're just going to manage. We're going to try and move our way forwards. It's going to probably be a little bit difficult, but hopefully we can be on the podium by the end of this race. Let's see what we can do. The management is working out a little bit better around here than it did in Canada. And by the start of lap 15 here, we are just 1.5 seconds behind Alonso, running with both cars on the podium. And having a 20% tire advantage. So it's looking very, very promising so far. We even use less tire than some of the hard runners. So this should hopefully, again, work out in our advantage. The gaps are starting to form here, which means that pit stops should be pretty straightforward and simple. I think we can be very, very happy with how this has progressed. We're just going to stick to our strategy. We're going to kind of just have to suffer probably for a little bit in traffic. I think that is going to be the better option here than getting involved, or rather changing up a strategy. Because right now, we are gaining on Alonso, and I'm going to spend probably a lap or two here just recharging before we try and break the toe. He's probably might actually pit before then, but there's no negatives by having a full battery here. I want to hopefully create a bit of a gap, although it looks like he's pushing at the moment. I guess he might just be pushing for pushing into the pits, if you will. Bottas still running with us. Verstappen is 4.5 seconds down the road. It is looking very, very good so far. And yeah, I think Alonso is pushing in order to be pitting within the next couple of laps here. But yeah, we're just going to manage for the time being. It's looking good. Let's see if it still looks good by the time we end up pitting ourselves. We now have a safety car at a bit of an inopportune time. Alonso has just pitted. He is one of the first that has pitted. We have Norris 25 seconds down the road. We have Verstappen 27. And if we take a look at the time consideration here, it's 21 seconds pit stop without, traffic. And we're going to have to double stack here. There's just no way around it. Bottas is going to get the jump bonus as a result. But I'm going to be honest, there's no way around it. And this safety car came at a really, really inopportune time. I would love a couple more laps here to, be done. But at least it didn't come after we had already gone past the main straight, I guess you could say. But this is still going to suck quite badly for us. Apparently, we didn't actually get the pit stops here. It didn't register for us. Bottas got into the pits. We didn't. That's
keep the temps up as much as you can.
Actually really bad because now we have been collected by the safety car. But we need to pit here. There's just no way around it. That's extremely frustrating because we're going to fall all the way to the back now. That's very frustrating. That's incredibly frustrating that Bottas was allowed to pit while we weren't. Safety car is ending. I don't even know what happened, but apparently Ocon is out. That's that's just how it be sometimes, I guess. But still, very frustrating. Not really much we can do here. We just need to try and claw our way back the best that we can. We should have been running probably third and fourth right now. But that inopportune safety car definitely cost us quite a bit here. That's actually making me a little bit upset and angry. But yeah, it's, again, probably just a little bit of an unfortunate timing. The AI can immediately plan their pit stops the second safety car comes out. I need a second to pause. And that second is probably what made me a little bit too slow there in giving the orders for the safety car pit stop. But yeah, we'll just have to try the best we can here to claw our way back. It is going to suck. It's going to be very, very annoying. But there's no way around it. And let's face it, Porsche signs, both of them are in a position here where we could get another safety car in the future. So we're not out of this just yet, but it does sting quite a bit. We are now getting close to pit stop, and while we have fought our way up into a position here that is a little bit better, it's not great still because a lot of the cars behind us has pitted themselves. So we're not really back into podiums here. It's more like 6th and 7th where Hamilton resides. But there's not really much we can do about it at this point. We have tried the best that we can. 20 laps remaining. We stretched this medium stint a little bit longer than we probably should. But I don't think that necessarily is going to be a bad thing here. So let's see what we can do. Leclerc is now pitting. Clean stop. Hamilton comes in as well. Clean stop. Best that we could ask for here. Coming out in 8th and 9th. And I have once again a feeling of deja vu. I think we've been here before. But yeah, Leclerc comes out in 8th there. Really, really good. Hamilton, however, gets put to the back of the DRS train. So Leclerc just barely gets away from purgatory, while Hamilton finds himself square down in the middle of it. So a lot of work ahead of us to get to Alonso. It's actually gone to a hard tire. We need 12 seconds. So yeah, Leclerc has a little bit of a job here. Excuse me. Leclerc has a little bit of a job ahead of him. Alonso's also setting fastest laps, so yeah, I don't see that one happening. But if Bottas, Verstappen, Piastri, Norris stay out for a little bit longer, then we might still be able to have something happen here. But for now, we're going to manage. Temperature is getting up there pretty quickly. Once we get to 95 degrees, we should be fine. And I think we'll just go ahead and go attack it a little bit to heat them up a little bit quicker. And then we'll go light now once we reach 93. Because that should be a good time to slow down that temperature gain a little bit. Leclerc in 6th. Hamilton in 12th. 11th now. We are a little bit unfortunate, as I mentioned here, with Hamilton, where he ended up there with the train ahead of him. But Leclerc is 7 seconds off Verstappen. Russell has major damage. Piastri is now pitting. We're not gonna get him, I think. Oh, we actually are. It's very good. Hamilton, are you gonna get him? Just about. So that safety car did mess us up, but hopefully we can recover a little bit here. However, with Red Bull looking to do another one too, it's not going to be a good weekend for us. With 6 laps to go here, the fight for us seems to be one for 4th place with Leclerc. Switch between the McLarens for Hamilton. He should be able to catch Russell by the end of this. Russell is struggling quite a bit. Alonso now has a mechanical fault, but let's face it, 5 laps remaining. We needed that a lot earlier for it to really have any effect on the race. The only thing we really could get as a benefit here is Verstappen finishing ahead of him. But for Leclerc, I'm actually going to try and do a little bit of harvesting. We are happy with sitting behind Piastri, just getting a full battery. Then we can go full deploy and attack to secure 4th place later on. And for Hamilton here, as I mentioned, the goal here is just going to be to try and secure 7th. And honestly, as I mentioned here, we might have been able to fight for a podium if not for the safety car blunder. But yeah, I've definitely lived up to the Ferrari strategy meme today, I feel. So I guess this episode should be called Ferrari Strategy featuring me. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Not really much I can do about it. But definitely different types of car does require different strategies. My usual ones haven't been too effective here. And it does make it a bit more fun. Just wish I had a little bit more time to sit down and rack my brains over what would be an effective strategy at this moment. So far though, there's not really much we can do. Leclerc here is going to get overtaken with DRS. Just no way around it, I would think. And honestly, he didn't, which is good. I think at this point, however, we do have enough time to just go full attack. And 43 and 46 there for Piastri and Norris is not amazing. So we should be able to push a little bit more, and that should help us stay ahead. Similar for Hamilton here, we're going to do the same thing. Aggressive, use fuel, and just try and stay ahead of the cars behind. We are creating a little bit more of a gap to Magnussen and Russell. And for Leclerc right now, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of harvesting. 3 laps to go. I believe that means we'll have a little bit more time to make a move. So I'm not too worried here, as Leclerc just makes the move while recharging anyways. Hamilton, looking good. We do need to pay attention to his fuel. Don't really want to, run out. That would be even more embarrassing. But yeah, there is going to be a little bit of back and forth here, mainly because of DRS. But Leclerc is giving a good fight. He's not giving up by any means of the imagination. And it is looking good. But if you consider the fact that we definitely lost more than 9 seconds with the pit stop errors when the safety car arrived, podium would be the least here that we would get. Maybe even a fight for the win if we're lucky. Final lap is starting. I think we are gonna limit the usage of energy on the main straight. We are gonna get overtaken here. Let's face it, Piastri's just too close. And we'll deploy it from here and try and get him in the second DRS zone. For Hamilton, it looks good here, so we shouldn't really mess with him in any way, shape, or form. We're also going to use fuel here to give Leclerc a little bit of an extra edge. And that will hopefully be enough that we can reclaim 4th position here in this DRS zone. And it does an overtake, very similar to last lap's overtake there. Alonso wins, Verstappen comes second, Bottas comes third, and Leclerc does, in fact, hold off Norris for 4th place. Hamilton holds off Magnussen for 7th. And all in all, not the race we were hoping for. Bit of a shame over the safety car. I know, I'm complaining, I'm whining, but I just need to get my frustration out. And this is the best way to do it. But yeah, with this, I think Alonso is basically untouchable. He's got 50 points on us. Constructors, Red Bull is extending that gap also to more than 50 points. So we need a pretty severe crash of form from the Red Bull team if we had to turn this around. To be fair though, last couple of races has some pretty bad errors from my part, so I shouldn't really be complaining too loudly. But yeah, we'll have to see if I can make a bit of a comeback next time around. We are going to start doing research though, and I think the rest of the season is just going to be damage mitigation for the most part. And again, with 55% here being lost across the board, if we do research properly, we might be able to do something next year. And that's kind of going to be what I'm gonna hope for. So we're going to get a research in here on the front wing, on the rear wing, and I think maybe on the underfloor with CFD. And that's going to help us getting a lot of the lost performance back again. So let's get this started. One engineer. And as I mentioned here, I think over the next few races as we get close to summer break, we're going to make a decision to probably do a full swap over to research. It seems it might be necessary. I feel like we're just a little bit too slow. And it's not a good feeling. Let's just put it like that. For now though, we'll try and manufacture back the car parts that we are missing. And hopefully, next time, things will go a little bit better. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time, because honestly, this is quite difficult. Bye bye!